Hi guys.
Hey.
How's it going?
All right.
Oh, it's like a clown car.
Wearing big red shoes next.
Look at that. Anything good tonight?
No, we just got out.
Oh yeah, just getting started. It's been pretty quiet so far. Had a homicide this morning over on the west side, but that's about it. I pulled him over because he didn't have his headlights on.
Is that a warning, or does he get the citation?
Oh yeah, no, he's good. He just forgot to turn them on.
Things pick up when
He's a
it's
new
warmer.
driver. I know. I dig it.
Yeah, it's a Saturday night thing, or yeah,
Friday night tonight.
Friday night. Should get busy.
I hope so.
There's something I'm curious about.
Hit me.
Like, how many officers total on Portland's gang task force? Like,
Oh, I have no idea.
like best guess. Ballpark it.
Well, it fluctuates a lot
Yeah.
because you know they do the yo-yo, right? Where it's like, oh, there's a gang problem. We gotta pull resources from detectives and from these other units.
Oh,
and put
so
them
the
on
command
gang
level
team.
guys like randomly decide, or they decide by the gangs or the crime statistics how many.
Well, I don't know how they make their decision, but what tends to happen
Okay.
is that when there's a rash of shootings,
Right.
they pull resources from other places, stick them on the gang team,
Okay.
and then when it's quiet, the gang problem went away.
Oh.
So they take them back and they put them back where they were.
That
So
makes
right
kind
now,
of
if you were to
zero
ask,
sense because more presence equals less activity generally. So like
Yeah.
it's gonna yo-yo if they don't keep a constant policing on
yeah.
any one thing.
I mean, it's not a one-to-one, right? It's
Right.
like, just because you have cops doesn't mean there's no shootings. Doesn't mean
Right.
gangsters don't have beef.
Right.
Doesn't mean, you know, so there's that. But that's generally what happens. So if you made me guess, I would say 20,
Right.
probably. And that probably includes our detectives.
Cool.
That's what I would say. We have much less than that. How are you?
But you got the same gangs, right?
Yeah, they're all the same. They don't care about the border.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like they hang out at the speakeasy and like, I'm not crossing the street because that's Gresham. They don't.
Yeah.
You know, they don't care.
Well, I mean, like EK and Brew and all
Yeah. They don't care where the borders are.
that. Yeah.
You know, they're in Oregon City. And
Is EK
Everywhere.
really even a problem in like European kindred, like a problem in Gresham and Portland, or are they just kind of a small thing?
they were a huge thing.
Yeah.
And then a lot of them went to prison because they paid a lot of attention to them. And so now it's Bruce the thing. And everybody wants to be Bruce. So,
Is that what you get the most street cred for being?
if you're white.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
You know. Other than that, it's the Hoovers, 60s. We're all in the 60s.
What about the Norteños? You get many of those or bulldogs?
There's a couple bulldog. We arrested a bulldog last week. He wanted us to shoot him. We decided not to. He
Was he really having a mental bad time? He kept saying.
no, he was high.
Okay.
Driving the wrong way on the freeway, 100 miles an hour. Had a passenger in the car.
Spike strips, following
Spike
what-
strips, and when he
everyone
stopped on the
that
freeway, he jumped out and was like, "Shoot me!" You know. There aren't a ton of bulldogs around. Norteños really came up, you know,
got someone in a
California,
hurry right here.
and they
That's fire.
kind of hit like Canby and Wilsonville, Hubbard, and then they jumped Portland because there's so many Sureños here, and they went up to Vancouver. So I mean, we have some Norteños, but not that many.
Does Gresham do, because you're Gresham, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just checking the side.
Yeah.
Do you guys have mutual aid with Portland? Like, if there's a big protest, you guys help with our team?
We have mutual aid with everybody.
Okay.
I mean, everybody kind of has mutual aid with everybody else.
Except Washington County.
Because they had that thing about the lawsuit. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had the thing that was in the paper about the lawsuit.
Yeah. I mean, you know, if the crap hit the fan, and loss of life was imminent, they'd come and help.
Well, yeah. But that's a city beat, really. It's not the cops.
Yeah, there are issues with the city of Portland.
Lots of people have issues with the city of Portland.
I'm sure you guys don't, but somebody does.
Oh, yeah.
Can I get the keys real quick?
Yeah.
Where's,
Well, actually, I was trying to file a tort claim a couple
You
months
are?
back with Bob. Yes, and check this out. They call G4S Security from City Hall to the Risk Management Office, which is like 3 blocks away,
Okay.
to trespass me off this floor that I'm supposed to file the paperwork for my tort claim.
Because G4S has a contract probably with every city property.
They
or
do,
something.
they do. But they send them up. But I think it was just kind of douchey of them to like try to trespass me off the floor that I needed to file the tort claim. Like
maybe you can have an agent and do it.
yeah, I could have a proxy. I should send my proxy. You know, like
Right.
while I sip my martinis in my penthouse. Yeah.
So you don't have to. I mean, obviously you don't have to answer this, but I am curious.
Yeah.
So
I'm not rolling my camera. He's rolling his right now.
no, I understand.
Okay. Yeah.
It'll be exciting viewing when you put it up online.
Okay. Yeah.
So you have a problem with Patriot Prayer and sort of that corner of the world, and you have a problem with Antifa, and you and Chris are big on Antifa, hating on Antifa, Haley Adams, Patriot Prayer, and all that stuff. But you guys set those aside when you come out and do your cop watch.
Yep.
Here's the thing.
And again, I don't. If you don't want to tell me, I don't.
No, I'll totally explain it to you because it would seem confusing from the outside. I have an issue with morally repugnant, douchey behavior.
Okay.
Like if there's like 6 or 7 Antifa people bullying a conservative person, I would get in the way of the 6 or 7 Antifa people. If there's like 5 or 6 conservatives messing with some anarchist kid, I'm going to be the one that stands in front of all of them and say, stop it, let's make the violence not happen, and fuck you, and I'm willing to put
So
my
it's
body
less
on the line.
ideological than it is
Yes.
behavior related.
Yes, I'm more concerned with when people do violent, repugnant, douchey shit to each other. I'm going to defend the underdog, and that's just the nature of my personality, and I'm totally willing to knuckle up over it or put my body in the way or whatever, but like, that's really what it is. I have ideological differences with Joey, but I'm willing to discuss it with him. He and I will have a conversation about it. I just had a long discussion with him over that right-wing thing they had just recently. They had some YouTube channel that's really famous. These girls that call themselves the Deplorables. They played at the...
Oh, the comedy thing?
Yeah, they had that, and I just talked to Joey about anarchist theory and fucking, what to do with the borders and a bunch of other fun stuff. But I'm not one of those kind of anarchists that want to bust somebody's head because I disagree with you, because I think that's retarded. I mean, honestly, like it shows intellectual deficiency if you have to be violent to prove a point. You've already lost, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. I have issues with the violent stuff, and I don't care what side it is. And so sometimes you'll see me calling out Antifa. If you see my interview with this conservative talk show host, Pete Santilli. It's Mike Blue Hair and Pete Santilli. If you get bored enough to look at my channel, okay, because you live the stuff I film, so why would you see it? Right? But anywho, I call out the violence on both sides. I don't think they should be.
Yeah. You could totally make that. But I can also move. I'll move it.
Yeah, so it's more like the behavior. Right? If I see people bullying other people, I'm going to do something about it.
Yeah.
It's just around.
Cop watchers in Portland.
Yeah.
You have conservatives, you got liberals, you got
It's like
anarchists,
everything else, yeah.
and basically we all, even though we may not agree politically, we all agree to be friends and put our differences to the side and stuff like that.
Same as cop, there's liberals and there's conservatives and there's...
Yeah, I can imagine the kind of bullshit ribbing you would give each other.
Yeah. Hey, did he get that picture back to City Hall?
That wasn't Eli.
Oh, somebody else.
Just ask me.
I don't think that picture's ever coming back.
Probably not.